Hello everyone, and welcome to Stories from an Ugly Childhood. I am your host, the Crap Artist, or Bonnie, if you like. And this is my crappy art room. Today, I've actually been trying to record this video for the last 2 days, actually. Entry 3. And it's really not that hard of a story to tell. It's just, there is a lot around it. And it's hard to get it out in a cohesive way, and also hard to get it out without being incredibly angry about it. So I'm just going to try again. Entry 3, my friends. And this is the story that my mom really likes to tell at family gatherings. And I guess I have to give a little bit of backstory. The first is, I was banned from family gatherings from 2004 until about 2013. And it took a series of deaths and my mother's own close personal brush with the Grim Reaper to want to allow me back into her family. And all of that jazz. She basically just forced herself on me and called crying every holiday that she needed to see me and it wouldn't be right if I didn't come. Anyway, and then when I get there, Officer McStinkerton and she herself, make me regret every single second of it in every way they possibly can. And one of these ways is when she tells this story. And it is the story of when I was blamed and grounded for a month solid for when my dog bleached their carpet. And the story goes as follows. I had a Cocker Spaniel named Buster, and for the first 6 months that my mother and I lived with Officer McStinkerton in their brand new built house, it's not really all that special. It was like a half a tier above the cardboard and duct tape house in the housing authority, in that it had a second floor, an extra bedroom, 2 bathrooms, and a skylight that perpetually leaked. Not that much better. But my mom and Officer McStinkerton were absolutely house proud, and they kept it like a museum in there. There was even rules on how to vacuum the floor in the living room. So after much ado and fuss over my Cocker Spaniel, because my grandfather didn't want to take care of the dog, and my mom's boyfriend didn't want me to have the dog because he just didn't want me to have anything nice or anything that made me happy. But my mom realized that my mood was suffering. I had no friends. I had no intention of making friends. She just wanted me to have a living thing to interact with. So I got my dog back. And the dog was on steroid medication because he had a facial injury. And the steroid medication made his saliva very acidic. So, after about a week and a half of the dog finally being with us, little bleach spots started showing up all over the carpet, in the living room, in the hallway, up and down the stairs, upstairs in the upstairs hallway, and big spots in my bedroom. So automatically they blamed me. And there were spots underneath the dining room table, underneath the coffee table in the living room, behind a bookshelf, and just weird, weird little spots that me, being a 200-pound 14-year-old at the time, could not get into physically to pour bleach into. And the general consensus was that I was walking around the entire house with a cup of bleach and one of those holy water sprinklers or something like that. I mean, if you looked at it, you'd realize that a child didn't do it. Really, but that's not how McStinkerton or my mother's brain works. It was automatically Bonnie's fault because Bonnie is the only other person there. The brothers hadn't moved in yet. They got to stay with their grandparents for 6 months. So, as she tells this story at family gatherings, she cackles and gets this demonic looking Kool-Aid grin on her face when she gets to say that she grounded me for a month solid on solitary confinement. No TV, no books, no friends. I didn't have any friends anyway. Nothing to write with, nothing to draw with, nothing to draw on. Just had to sit there in my room and think about it, unless I was going to school or walking the dog for a month. And the part that she laughs the hardest about is the fact that she and McStinkerton knew within a matter of days that it was not, in fact, me that did the damage to their house, that it was the dog. And they left me grounded. And the part that she never mentions is the fact that she and her disgusting wet brain pig boyfriend tag team tortured me for about 6 hours. He didn't hit me, but he swung at me and put his fist in my face a lot and real fast, and they both got in my face and screamed at me so hard and called me a liar and worthless and a piece of shit and told me I'd destroy everything I touched and I'd better confess and tell the truth and just eat crow and say you did it and it'll all end quicker. And my mom beat me up and terrified me so bad that I thought that I was going to die. And I ended up actually really ruining my bedroom carpet that night because I pissed myself while she was beating the shit out of me. And when she tells this story, it takes every single ounce of my strength and my will to just not get up and flip the table and scream at her that she is a lying piece of shit and she better tell the rest of the story. Yeah, it takes all my strength to do that. Instead, I just go outside and smoke a cigarette. She never tells this story in front of my husband. She always waits until I'm in her family's presence by myself. I think that if she would tell that in front of my husband, he would have words with her, and she might be afraid of that, because he's not afraid to say things. Anyway, so the long-term effects of it, I think that's very obvious, even from just this little bit that you can see in my art room, that I'm not at all a very tidy person. And it is a bit of an act of rebellion, a little bit of procrastination, and just, I don't know, I get stunted sometimes, and I can't move. And I don't have carpets in my house. The very first thing we did when we took possession of the house, and you know, the mortgage was settled, and everything was put together, I ripped this fucking carpet out and refinished my living room floor by myself. So that all you gotta do is basically just hose it down and it's clean. There's no worrying about ruining the finish. There's no worrying about bleaching anything. Yep. And my house is, you know, I'm very proud that I own this house, but keeping it like museum quality and perfectly tidy is not something that is on my agenda. There's no trash anywhere. I don't leave filth laying around. I don't leave dirty dishes. And I have so many cats that I gotta wash my floors every single day. So it isn't that bad. It's just cluttered, and it's more of a warehouse than a museum. And isn't that kind of strange? Because I get so bent out of shape when people fuss with my personal possessions. But, you know, if you spilled something on my couch or scratched my floor, it's not that big of a deal because I can just refinish it. You know, watch a couple of YouTube videos and go to Home Depot and figure it out myself. But yeah, that story and the fact that she tells that was one of the major deterrents of just not wanting to spend any time with her at all. Because she always has to express her dominance and retell a story to make it seem funny and cute, but it's really just terrifying. One time she told that story at a wedding in 2016. Her oldest of her brothers, his youngest son, got married to a woman that he met through a language course on the internet. And she came to the United States and they got married. And it was a very beautiful wedding. But at the pre-dinner, my mom told the stupid story. And there was this beautiful couple there that were friends with the bride. And they didn't know my mom. They'd never ever met my mom in their lives. And she tells this story and starts cackling her ass off and we grounded her in solitary for a month. And I do my customary go outside and smoke a cigarette, and the wife from the couple comes outside and she puts her hand on my shoulder and she says, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for what you probably had to go through. She knew that my mom was only half telling the truth. She knew. And we had a really good long conversation, and it came up that smile makes my mom look demonically possessed, and I couldn't argue. I couldn't argue with the woman. 'Cause yeah, sometimes I question that if maybe she is, and maybe she has been for a very long time. Anyway, that's my story. And I don't really have anything else to say. I don't like holidays. I don't know anybody in my family because of my mom. And yeah, so bye everybody. Ugh.